The toughest job right now for so many is finding a job during the pandemic. For many, the search is a full-time job. But now applicants are being met with another roadblock. We all know about ghosting. You thought the interview went well. You've reached out to that employer to see where things stand, and you never hear back. And now add a new term to your job search. The word is breadcrumbs. Here this morning is Erin Sullivan with employment specialist company Robert Half. Welcome, Erin.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for having me.
It's good to see you as always. So explain the term breadcrumbing.
Wow, it's a great new term that's come about. It's about the interview process and ultimately dragging it out a little bit, providing extra steps along the way to maybe try to keep candidates entertained and engaged while taking a longer time in the interview process before making a decision of hiring.
Why do they do this?
A couple of reasons. Right now, it is because a lot of employees feel that there's a wider and broader candidate pool, and they want to take the time to really make sure that they get the best candidate in the seat. So they keep their positions open a little longer, but know that they have to have those initial interviews. So they have those initial interviews and then just create some extra steps while they're still looking to see who else is applying for their position.
But this also has a backlash to it, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Our recent survey that Robert Half just did says that after 2 weeks, about 66% of applicants are disengaged and no longer interested in an opportunity. And if you wait up to 3 weeks, you lose about 75% of interested candidates in your opportunity.
Okay, so they can also go online and maybe diss that company and maybe not give them a good review too.
Some of the repercussions of breadcrumbing is not only do you lose interest, but you have candidates who are telling others about their feedback, or they actually even blacklist the company and choose to no longer ever pursue an opportunity with that company. And they share that information on social media.
Are there some cities that do more breadcrumbing than others?
Unfortunately, yes, there are some cities that have a higher interview process in their reputation. Here in California, we have San Diego and Sacramento, but you also have cities like Boston, Dallas, and Cleveland. They are actually the top 5 known for taking long in their hiring process currently.
Okay, so conversely, there are probably maybe some companies in different cities that have been big offenders, but now have learned a lesson because they've lost some good candidates. So what are some of the cities that have learned their lesson?
Well, here we have Los Angeles that has definitely learned their lesson. They are known to have a very quick hiring process, as well as Cincinnati, New York, Washington, and Portland. So some of the great ideas, if you have another office in some of those locations, maybe talk to them to see if they've been able to speed up their hiring process and what that process has looked like.
So I have to wonder if some of the people who do the hiring, if they have forgotten what it was like when they were looking for a job, when they thought the interview went well, and they reach out back to that company and they hear nothing. That really is unfair.
You know, Joe, that's a great point. Exactly. Think about when you were applying for jobs and you interview, there is just a natural kind of stress and intensity waiting to find out if you hear back and going through that process. If you can think about how that process went for you and try to help new employees as you become the hiring manager have that better experience. I think we typically know that when you have a good experience, you tell one person. When you have a bad experience, you tell 10 people. And now with social media, that 10 can turn into 100 awfully fast.
So is there any question that you can ask during the interview process to make sure that you do get feedback, that you do hear back from them?
I think the best couple of questions to ask are, what is your process? I think for employers, setting that outline in the beginning just helps a candidate with their mindset of the process, but not only asking what is your process, but after every interview or next step, when can I expect to hear back from you? That does kind of put the expectation on the client of, I anticipate hearing from you, good or bad.
All right, so now we have to deal with ghosting. We have to now deal with breadcrumbing. This probably all happened before. It's now that we've just given names to it.
Exactly. I think it's happened before, but I think with advances in social media, it's a lot more quick for people to be able to share information. And so it's becoming pushed into the limelight a little more.
All right, let's just keep breadcrumbing just for the birds then, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, Erin, good to see you again.
You as well. Thank you so much.
All right, take care. And stay right there. We'll be right back.